Welcome to Parshas Shelach. It should be a zechus for all those in Eretz Yisrael that everyone should be protected and should be safe, and all those in need of refuah should have refuah. It should also be especially refuah shlema for Esther Bas, Shena Rezel, and it should be a zechus for my family and all of Klal Yisrael. Rav Chaim Soloveitchik, the renowned Rosh Yeshiva of Volozhin, often sent out collectors to raise desperately needed funds for the yeshiva. One such collector returned after traveling through dozens of shuls, dozens of communities, completely empty-handed. He explained to Rav Chaim the travel expenses were so high that I had nothing left to bring back for the yeshiva. So Rav Chaim, visibly disappointed, responded sharply. We learn a lesson from the story of the Meraglim, the story of the spies. When Moshe sent them out, the Torah says, Shlach lecha an Hashem ve'asuru. Send for yourself men to scout out the land. But don't read it merely as ve'asuru, to scout out. Read it va'yosiru, that they should leave over. HaKadosh Baruch Hu was merames to Moshe. Send messengers who are ne'emanim and mesurim, ones who not only fulfill their mission, but who ensure they return with funds left over. Rav Chaim was saying that they shouldn't use all the money on themselves. True messengers, mishalachim, return with something for the mission, not just excuses. Rashi, on the opening words of the Parshas Shelach Nashim, asks, why is the episode of the spies of the Meraglim juxtaposed to the story of Miriam? So Rashi explains it's to teach us that the spies witnessed what happened to Miriam when she spoke Lashon Hara about her brother, and yet they did not take the lesson to heart. The Meraglim still spoke negatively about Eretz Yisrael. So Rav Chaim Yisrael, the Admor Mipolov, asks a question. Was the Torah's purpose here merely to emphasize how wicked they were? No, the Torah raises the question, is raising a question and answering it. It's not just about the spies. It's about the human condition, a person who refuses to see the truth. His eyes are closed. Even if the truth is shown to him clearly, he still will be blind to it. These Rishonim saw with their own eyes, not secondhand, not from a book, not from rumors. They saw what happened to Miriam, and yet they failed to internalize it. They saw, but they didn't see. They looked, but they didn't learn. The tragedy of the Meraglim wasn't just their words. It was their refusal to learn from what was right in front of them. This week's Parsha mentions the story of the Mekoshesh Eitzim, the man who gathered sticks on Shabbos. The Gemara in Shabbos discusses various opinions regarding which melacha he violated. Among the possibilities is the melacha of tolesh, plucking. I see Targum Yonasan on the pasuk, and he actually uses the word of tolesh. The act of tolesh, plucking, is a form of the melacha of kotzer, harvesting. The difference, the Gemara tells us, kotzer typically involves cutting with a kli, whereas tolesh, which is a tolda of this av melacha, involves detaching by hand, not with a kli. Where this comes up on Shabbos, as a practical example, the Shulchan Aruch writes that one may smell hadassim while they are still attached to the ground. However, one may not smell edible fruits like an esrog or an apple on the tree, due to the concern that one might instinctively pluck the fruit off the tree in order to eat it. And the Mishnah Berurah explains, since hadassim are used solely for fragrance, and one can enjoy the scent while still attached, there's no strong temptation to pluck them. Some authorities are still machmir, even with hadassim, but the Eliyahu Rabbah already wrote that we follow the lenient ruling of the Shulchan Aruch, and it's permitted to smell hadassim on Shabbos.